Problems solved. I'm going to leave it at that. And you're going to ask me, Average Joe, what problems are solved? Well, let me tell you, my problems are solved in terms of dealing with this small office space that I'm currently working with and gear in general. I was using I've had a host of different digital amplifiers over the past few years, but I was most recently using a Fender Mustang LT25. And it's not a super large amp, but it did take up a significant amount of footprint in my small office. And I started looking at alternatives and heard about this wonder that came out a few months ago. It is the Fender Mustang Micro. And folks, yes, this is a digital guitar amplifier in the footprint of a cigarette lighter. A completely functional digital amplifier in the footprint of a cigarette lighter. Mind-boggling, right? I mean, 25 years ago, you'd think this stuff was stuff of outer space conversations, but it's here. That's what this is. As crazy as it sounds, I was blown away. This thing is just an unbelievable piece of technology. And what problems has it solved for me? Well, first of all, again, right off the cuff, floor space, right? I don't need to use that amplifier anymore. This is my practice amp that virtually takes up no space. Number two, because it's a headphone amp, I'm not disturbing anybody. So the Joe, turn it down, stop playing, play somewhere else, has gone away. That's number one. And then number three, and there are many of us around like effects from time to time just to play with. And instead of having a need for a digital amplifier or for those that don't have a digital amplifier, effects pedals, you don't need that with this. It's all built in here. So this little guy has 12 amp models built into it. Various Fender amp models, 65 twin, 57 twin, 60s British, 70s British, Metal 2000. It gives you amplifier choices depending upon your style of music, whether you want an ultra clean sound, a little bit of dirt, or Metal 2000's case, some heavier distortion. And it comes with, I believe, 12 or 13 effects. So built into here, you can get an assortment of reverb settings. You can get an assortment of delay settings. You can get tremolo. You can get flange. And you can get chorus. So you can get whatever you're really looking for from an effects standpoint, whatever tone that you're looking for from an amplifier, all built into this little cigarette size amplifier. The other nice thing about it is it supports Bluetooth. Now, I'll put a caveat in a second regarding that, but if you have music playing on your iPhone, you can stream it into here. You can play the music through this device and jam along with it, which is a great feature. The thing it doesn't support is wireless headphones. So currently, with this version of the unit at least, you need to have a wired headphone connected to this in order to use the device. It does not come with headphones, so you have to use your own headphones. You simply plug the 1/4-inch headphone attach into that hole there, and that's where you connect. Right next to it, you'll see there's a USB-C connection. And the other neat thing about this device is it can be used as a recording device. So you can record from here into your MacBook Pro or your PC and record your guitar. If you want, you can also record whatever you're streaming in here along with your guitar into the computer as well, which is really, really cool. Now, another negative about the device. This is the USB cable it ships with. Now, I don't know what Fender was thinking when they did this, but unless you're connecting to something that is a couple of inches away from you, it is 100% useless. So, for example, I use another computer as my recording computer. I use a desktop, and it's under a desk, and it's several feet away. This isn't going to cut it, so I cannot use what this ships with to record into my computer today. So now I'm going out, I'm going to buy what they should have shipped this thing with, a 10-foot USB-C cable that is functional. That's the only, one of the major downsides that I have of this, along with the fact that it would be nice if it supported wireless headphones as well. Because right now, that's the only thing, you're stuck with a wire connected to here. That's your limitation. I mean, as far as it being not having a guitar wire, you can play this wherever the hell you want to play. You can bring it to a park. You can play outside in your backyard, upstairs, wherever you want. It's really neat. But that's a downside. The other downside to this is the fact that this volume button varies greatly depending upon what amp setting you have it on and what effects you have set to. So I'm constantly toggling on here all over the place to adjust the volume. In some cases it's way too low, in other cases it's loud, so it's not consistent. But other than that, it really is a phenomenal piece of technology. Now, I typically keep the thing set at around 11 o'clock for my own personal preference. In general, across all the amps that I use, that's what I like. You can turn it up as loud as you want. Fully engaged, I think it's way too loud for me. My ears are already damaged, but you can keep it wherever you want to keep it. The other, well, let's get into, first of all, I'm not going to get into anymore. Those are really the main negatives that I have. The fact that this is varies greatly. The fact that it doesn't support Bluetooth from a wireless headphone standpoint, and the fact that it comes with a USB cable that's way, way too short. Those are my main gripes about this. If you're a metalhead, another gripe might be that the amps are not geared towards metal players. Most of the amp settings where it sounds the best are clean settings, and it does sound phenomenal. It's got a pristine bell-like ring when you're playing through the headphones, and it's in stereo. So you're in another world when you're listening to a nice pair of headphones and this piece of equipment. It really is a wonder. It's a great thing. So let's look at what the setting, what it looks like from a setting standpoint. Or the other thing I wanted to mention too, guys. Unfortunately, I can't demo this with my limited technology that I have in this office. I'd have to have this connected to a headphone, so you wouldn't be able to hear any of these sounds. But there are far better demos of this than I would ever be able to do for you. So if you check out YouTube, there are great channels that have full demos of every amp setting and every device that it supports on YouTube that you can hear. This is simply a first impression, my impression, the value of this, and what I think it's best utilized for you guys. But again, demos, you can check YouTube out for a full-blown demo. So anyway, here's the amp button. Next to it is an EQ setting. Then there is an effects setting and a modify setting. There were 4 lights above it. These lights are all color-coded. So they're anywhere from amber to yellow to red to orange to green. It comes with this little nice cheat sheet. I don't know how well you can see it on this camera, but it comes with a cheat sheet, and by color it tells you what the settings are for each amp and what the settings are for each effect that it supports. The effects, again, what I like about this, it does not have a display anywhere on here, as you can see. And I think that's a benefit because it makes this thing extremely simple to use. You're just going to toggle this button till you find the amp setting that best suits you. You'll toggle it to the effects that you want engaged, and then really you're off to the races. This EQ button simply gives you it tweaks your amp setting. It'll make it a little bit sharper or a little bit more bass in terms of tone. That's really all you're going to get out of that. And then the modify button just tweaks your effects. So if you want a longer delay, you'll press this. This will adjust the rate of the delay, the rate of the reverb, etc. You know where I'm going with that. On the flip side is your on-off button. And again, volume button, nice toggle volume button right in front. And then you have here your 1/4-inch jack, which rotates 270. So regardless of what kind of guitar you have, whether you have a Tele or whether you have a Strat or a Les Paul, where the input is on that guitar, this will bend and shift and move and will accommodate fitting that guitar. Really, really wonderful piece of technology. So the other nice thing that I think you guys can use this for is if you do a lot of transactions from a guitar standpoint and you're buying and selling gear. And let's say you're in the parking lot of a Guitar Center or wherever you decide to do your transaction. Odds are that person that's buying your gear is going to want to hear it before he buys it. And lots of times, you know, they have to bring portable amps or they don't have access to an amp, and that becomes an issue. This you stick in your pocket, you take it out with a set of headphones connected to it, and problem solved, right? You can try out gear, listen to gear. If you're buying gear, it's great for you to bring. If the other person insists on hearing it before he buys it, you got this in your pocket, connect it, you're good to go. So it's great for a gear transaction as well. So I highly recommend, if you're looking for, and the best of it all, I didn't mention, I saved it to the end, is the fact that this thing is under $100. It's under $100 US. It's $99.99, which is a phenomenal value for something that will give you the kind of capability that this little thing will provide. Highly recommended if you're looking for a nice, small digital amplifier that's not going to break the bank, that's simple to use, and most of all is portable. So guys, once again, if you find these reviews helpful and useful for you in your buying decisions, please give me a thumbs up, support the channel, and subscribe. And any comments that you have, questions you have regarding this, fire them below. I'll answer them as quickly and as succinctly as possible. And I will put a link below for where I purchased this particular device. Again, I'm not sponsored by Fender. I'm way too small for that. So I paid, you know, out of my own pocket to buy this thing, and I'm certainly glad that I did. Until the next time, guys, be well, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.